Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So natapos tayo last time sa 1.7, which is yung Gaussian probability distribution na. So now I added, as I mentioned, I added another section, which is mga sample problems. So let's start with number 1. So a drunk starts out from a lamppost in the middle of a street, taking steps of equal length, either to the right or to the left with equal probability. The question is, what is the probability that the man will be again at the lamppost after taking capital N steps if N is even or if N is odd? Okay? So this is essentially the same thing sa problem natin. So solution, we have P equals Q is equal to 1/2. And of course, we have to take note na para makarating siya sa origin ulit, okay, yung drunk must take the same number of steps to the left as to the right. Tama ba? Kasi equal yung probability eh. So kapag nag-take siya ng 10 steps to the right, kailangan mag-take siya ng 10 steps then to the left para bumalik siya sa origin. Similarly, kapag pumunta siya sa kaliwa ng ganitong amount, kailangan kakanan siya ng ganun. Tama? Okay? So therefore, N1 equals N2 or half ng total number of steps. So, for the case na even, ganito lang siya, W of N over 2. So, if even, simple ano lang siya, combination. So, ito yung expression niya. So, we have capital N factorial over N1 factorial times N2 factorial times P raised to N1 times Q raised to N2. So, papalitan lang natin itong mga to. Yung N is, of course, we don't know the value of N. We just say na even. So, N factorial na lang yan. And yung magiging N1 and N2 is just N over 2 factorial. And then P and Q are just 1/2 each. And then over raised to N over 2. Okay? Bakit pwede to? Kasi nga, kapag even yung N, of course, hindi ka naman pwede mag-factorial ng fraction. So, we have whole number and whole number here. So, ito yung general form niya. So, yan yung sagot. So, of course, for any given even number of total number of steps, yun yung makukuha mo probability na babalik siya sa same position. Now, for the case where N is odd, as you can see, there is no way na makakabalik siya. Bakit? Kasi nga, dapat equal number of steps. So, hindi pwedeng add. Kapag add kasi, hindi mo mahahati into equal number of steps to the left or to the right. So, yan. And then, of course, dahil din yun sa equal probability ng P and Q. Okay? So, yan yung sa number 1 natin. Number 2, derive the binomial distribution in the following algebraic way, which does not involve any explicit combinatorial analysis. So find the probability W of N successes out of a total of N independent trials. So let W1 equals P, the probability of success, and W2 just be Q or 1 minus P corresponding probability of failure. So dahil medyo madami siya independent trial, you have to multiply yung mga yan. And since we have 2 probability, you have to take the summation from 1 to 2 lang naman. Okay, so medyo mahaba siya. Okay, so each term contains n factors probability ng particular combination ng success or failure, no? So yung sum of ng mga yan, ay makuha mo lang actually involving W sub 1, exactly n times. So mapakita nyo na nag-involve lang siya ng term na W sub 1 raised to n. So una, A, by rearranging the sum above, show that the unrestricted sum can be written in the form W sub n, W of n is just equal to quantity W1 plus W2 raised to capital N. And B, by expanding this by the binomial theorem, show that the sum of all terms in the summation involving W1 raised to N is simply given by one expansion term. So parang hindi na siya summation, one expansion term. Okay, let's do the solution. So the probability of N successes out of N capital N trials is given by the sum, no, yung kanina. So of course, if we take the restriction na kuha lang natin yung summation ng W1, pwede natin pag-iwalayan. Okay? So we have W, here. Okay? So, i-add lang natin, no? So, yung mga index, huwag kayong malito dahil dami indices lang naman yan. Para lang hindi kayo malito. Yung una, we have 1 to 2. So, we have W1 plus W2. Next, summation ng W sub J from J equals 1 to 2 is just the same. W1 plus W2. Ganun din dito, and so on. Okay? So, as you can see, yung pag-sum natin from I to M, kung ilan man yan, is just simply mag-multiply ka lang ng factors ng W1 plus W2. So, kung ilang beses man yan, you just have to multiply them. And of course, dahil may n times tayo, nagiging ganyan lang siya. Okay? So, nakuha natin yung number 1. So, using binomial theorem, di ba, isipin nyo, P and Q lang to. Tama? Yun lang naman talaga eh. Magiging, ganito lang yung binomial form niya. So, medyo mahirap yung letter B. So, by applying the restriction na ganun din, W sub 1 ulit, mag-occur siya n times, we have the same situation actually sa binary system. Kung naalala nyo, you have P and Q, tama? So, babalik ka lang din sa original na probability distribution. So, instead of taking the whole summation, ito lang yung makukuha mo. Okay? Kapag of course, ito yung restriction. Okay? So, yan yung number 2. Alright? So, we have another example here. So, medyo mas physics na ito. So, consider a box with N equals to 10 to the 24 gas molecules. So, this is around the Avogadro's number. Then, divide the box into 2 equally large subvolumes and find the probability of finding M out of N molecules in one of the subvolumes, which is given by the binomial distribution. And B, determine the deviation of the mean. So una, take the probability, and then dalawa, determine the deviation of the mean. Okay, so solution sa letter A. Let's assume na yung mga molecules ay equally likely to be in either of the subvolume, no? Kasi una-una, nasa box siya na puro molecules. Saan gagawin mo daw? Hahatiin mo biglaan. Okay? So, of course, hindi mo naman alam kung nasan yung mga molecules. Pero of course, you know na equal yung chance na mapunta siya kung saan-saan. So, kapag nilagyan mo ng harang, hinati mo, there's an equal chance na mapunta sila sa either side of the subvolume, no? So, of course, there's pwede natin i-denote yung probability, P and Q. Okay, 1/2. Half. So, on the average, which is expectation value ng M, is just the total number of N, or total number of molecules, times P, which is just 10 to the 24 times 1/2. So this is actually half of the total number of molecules. Yun yung, yun yung sagot sa, letter A. Okay? So to get the deviation, madali lang. So delta M is just similarly dun sa nakuha natin sa deviation, it's just the square root of N, P, Q. So N, P, and Q is just both 1/2. So we have 1/4. N is 10 to the 24. So kunin mo square root, magiging 10 to the 12 over 2. So this is around 500 billion molecules. So sobrang laki pa rin, di ba? Okay? Ang ibig sabihin nun, kung ito yung mean niya, kalahati, yung deviation niya still sobrang dami kapag kinuha mo yung sa sigma niya. Sobrang daming molecules around that area pa rin. Okay? So yan yung mga examples natin. So sa ibibigay ko na sa inyo yung material na ito, I already finished chapter 2, which is the second quarter for our course. So since tapos na tayo dito, we will start doing problem sets na. So take note lang yun and then wait for my email. So thank you sa pakikinig and hopefully may natutunan kayo dito. Hanap pa kayo ng ibang example din. You can try those. And of course, wag lang kayo mag-rely dito. Kaya nga naglagay din tayo ng mga additional references. Okay? So yun lang. Have a nice day. Stay safe and ingat palagi.